Alright everybody, I'm going to show you how to do this quiz 3 question. You can see I have comments on this document that are going to tell you exactly what to do. So starting at the very beginning, I've got this text highlighted here with this first column, or this first comment rather, and I'm going to change the format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this entire section, and it says to bold, center, and make it 14-point font. So right here, bolding it, coming down to 14, and then I'm going to align it in the center. Next, I am going to add the course name, RPT 325, Information Technology, and then my name's Michaela. Alright, and I am going to change this. Instead of it matching this title here, I'm going to make it just that normal text that we're starting with. You can do that a couple ways. So I just went back in and kind of reversed that formatting. But what you can also do is, since I want the text to be exactly the same as my body text, I can highlight any body text, come over here to the format painter, click that paintbrush, and then you see how there's a little paintbrush on my cursor now. I can select the text that I want to match, and it will make anything I select take on the formatting of my original text. That's not in the directions, that's just a little bit of extra info. Now I'm going to insert a page break. So I'm going to come over here to insert, come down to page break, and notice that my cursor is right after the last letter of the information that I want on that first page. So I'm going to put in that page break, and now all of this information is on this page and everything else got bumped down. Sometimes this can happen where it adds like an extra indent, so all you have to do to correct that is put your cursor at the very beginning of your text and backspace, and it'll bring it back up to the top. So since I forgot about this little piece of formatting, so I'm going to push enter 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that way it's kind of in the center of the page for this cover page. So I've done all of this stuff right here, so I'm going to click on this ellipses right here, and I'm going to push resolve thread. That kind of checks off this comment, makes it go away, but if I want to come back and see what it said, I can open it up over here. But it's just kind of a way to keep track of what you've done. Now I'm going to come down here. My next instruction is to indent the paragraph, so I'm just going to push tab, and it says to do this for every paragraph after this. So I'm going to go through the document and just tab in or indent every paragraph. Super exciting stuff. Go through the whole thing, and there we go. All of those are indented. Next, we are going to make sure that all of the text in this document is the same font. It is, but this is just good practice. So I'm going to highlight everything all the way down to references. I'm not going to select those hyperlinks because I want them to stay blue. I'm going to come over to my home tab, and I'm just going to make sure that everything is Calibri, 12-point font. The text is black. You can select the black, or you can also select automatic, and it is automatically going to be black. And then I'm going to come over here to my spacing, and I'm going to change it to 1.5. So all of that text just got all of that formatting applied to it. And it's already left aligned, but you can change the alignment of your text just like we made the title page centered with these 3 options. So this one right here is left aligned. So I've done all the stuff on that one, so I'm going to resolve this comment. Alright, next is going to be heading. So this is where we're going to be using our styles function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this section title here, and I'm going to apply the formatting. So I want it to be bold, I want it to be center aligned, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my styles area, and this one right here says heading 1. If I were to just push heading 1, it would change the formatting to whatever heading 1 is set to. So this actually changed this to Times New Roman. It changed the alignment a little bit, and that is not what I want. So I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to, instead of just clicking on heading 1, I'm going to right click, or if you have a Mac, it's like a double 2-finger click. And I'm going to select update heading 1 to match selection. So what that's going to do is it's going to copy whatever formatting I have on the selected text, and it's going to assign heading 1 to that. So now, instead of having to go through for all of these headings and go bold, center aligned, all I have to do is highlight the text, and now I can just push heading 1, and it will assign heading 1 formatting to all of the things that I select. So I'm going to go through, and I'm going to make all of these heading 1. And you would do the same thing if you had multiple levels of styles or headings. That's something that we'll get to later. It's all the same. You would just, instead of assigning new formatting to heading 1 again, if you had a second heading level, you would assign it to heading 2, heading 3, etc. I'm also going to come down here and I'm going to push enter, and I'm going to add a conclusion title to this final paragraph. And I'm going to do the same thing, select it, heading 1, awesome. And I'm also going to do that to my references title. Alright, so now we have all our headings here, awesome. Is that all of, yep, that's all the directions here, so we can come over here, resolve thread. And this is just reminding you that you need to do this for all of the headings. So on this one, we did it, and this one is just kind of the last one, so there isn't a comment on every single heading. You'll be able to tell which things are headings, I'm very confident. Resolve thread, and just kind of like scroll down, make sure that we got all of the headings. We assigned heading 1 to references, and now we're going to add a page break. So you can do this a couple of ways. You can add the page break right after the last period on this paragraph, or you can come over here and just go right before references, just like we did before. Insert, page break, and that bumps the references list down to this last page. This is just a note here. This is obviously not like technically correct referencing. This is just a URL, which would be unacceptable in most academic papers, but we're going to be covering references and scholarly research in a future week. So for this document and for this quiz, these URLs are fine. I just wanted to make sure to add in the URL I used to generate this text in ChatGPT about Microsoft Word. So if you all want to just see how I generated that, you can go there. And this is a link to one of the Word review videos that will come in handy when we add in these final content steps. But I'm just going to come over here right now, resolve this thread, check that off. And I have a couple of things to add here that aren't necessarily connected to existing text. It's things that you're going to have to generate yourself. So for the content steps, you're going to read the AI generated descriptions of each of Word in each of these sections. So all of the text in this document is not my own. I created it with ChatGPT. And so I think it is a good exercise for y'all to read through this and compare it to the notes that you took about the basic functions of Microsoft Word. So read through this, kind of like form some ideas, opinions, and what I'd like you to do is add in sections of the notes that you already took about this video. You don't have to create anything else. It doesn't even really have to be like full sentences, but I want you to add those notes into each of these paragraphs. And so we can distinguish between what you're going to do is you're going to apply different formatting. So I added some notes here. Yours will be longer. But I'm going to come over, I'm going to select it, go to the text color, and select red. And so all your notes that you add are going to be in red. All the same other font formatting. So Calibri, size 12, 1.5 spacing, etc. You're just changing the color. And obviously you would be writing different content here, but just for this video and so you can see the formatting, which is the most important part, I'm just copying and pasting the same sentence, add those notes to each thing. And you can see this kind of got a little bit funky, so we added an extra page here. Super easy to fix. Just put your cursor at the beginning of references, backspace it up until it's back on that same page, and because we backspaced, it removed that formatting from our references. No big deal. Just reassign heading 1 to it. A little extra practice for you guys. So let's double check back in with our instructions here. So we read through, we went to our notes, we added in some, like 1 or 2 sentences from our notes. Now we're gonna add a new section after this mail merge section and before our conclusion. So we'll just go to the end here, push enter, and we're going to add in a new section. That section is going to be titled Artificial Intelligence. I'm going to come over here. I just copied the words artificial intelligence from that comment and put it right here. It's going to be different formatting, but it doesn't matter because we're going to assign heading 1. That fixed everything we need, and you're going to write some information about AI. Let's see specifically what I'm asking you to do. Add a new section after mail merge before the conclusion about how your notes compare to the AI generated notes on Microsoft Word. So this is just a couple of sentences, like if you noticed anything like the AI got wrong about Microsoft Word, or there's some discrepancies, or like something is worded kind of weird, like you can tell a robot made it. It doesn't have to be anything like super groundbreaking or radical, just a couple of sentences. And let's make this red as well. Obviously you'll have more sentences there. It'll fill up some more space. I'll add a couple sentences so it looks really similar. Oopsie. Similar to what you will have. Something like that. I think that's the last thing here. Let's check. Add mail, and assign heading 1. We did that. The text in this section should be red, Calibri 12. We did that. Awesome. So we can resolve this thread. And you can also now delete this kind of like placeholder text right here. And that'll delete that comment as well, but you don't need that comment anymore. You already did it. We're going to add in some final formatting steps. So we're going to go to the top of this document, the very first paragraph. Basically, we're adding a table of contents. So this breaks it down step by step, but I'm not going to read that verbatim. You know how to read. I'm going to do it in my own words. So I'm going to come up, put my cursor right here. I'm going to push enter. And in that space above, I'm going to add the words table of contents. Now, I am going to push enter again, maybe one more time for good measure, and I'm going to insert a page break. So now we have our cover page, we have this page that we just created, and then our content starts right here. And we've added some space here that we need to get rid of, super easy, just backspace and re-add your indent. Now we're going to do our table of contents. So it's really important that you do this part first, so our table of contents shows up in our table of contents. So we're going to select that text, we're going to go to home, and we're going to apply heading 1 to table of contents. We'll do a little indent or enter right there, and now it's the fun part. So we're going to come over to our references tab. I think it's technically called a ribbon, like this top section is like, this is the layout ribbon, this is the design ribbon, this is references. I kind of just instinctively call it a tab. I think people will know what you're talking about regardless. But I'm going to come over to this section over here, table of contents. There's a couple of options. I just select classic because it's pretty easy to edit your table of contents. And I don't know if your Word will do this. This is kind of just like a weird quirk of my Word, perhaps, but I kind of have to go through these weird steps, and you might have to do this or you won't, it'll just work the first time, but it adds like an extra title. So I delete that title, I come over here, I cut this, and then I click into my table of contents box and paste it. And that just puts my table of contents title in the right spot. I don't know if you'll have to do that, but that's how you do it if you need to. And then another weird quirk of my Word is it just like randomly indents everything. So I go through and I remove the indent from each of these lines. And because it's a table of content, I can't do like the shortcut and remove the indent from all of them at the same time. But luckily it doesn't take too long. You probably won't have to do that, but I needed to show you what it's going to look like correctly. So there's that. Now I'm going to update the formatting here. So I'm going to select all of the contents in my table of contents, and I'm going to go to home, and I don't really want this to be bold and italic, so I'm just going to remove the bold and italic from that text, so it's all just normal, matches the rest of our text. And there's our table of contents. So that's inserted now. Guess it added another page, so we already know how to fix that. Just backspace your text until it's in the right spot. No big deal. Add that indent back in. Now we've got our title page, we've got our table of contents. Since it added that page, we might have to update our table of contents, so just do a regular left or right click, left click, right click, whatever it is, into the table of contents, and you'll either right click and open up a dialog box. On a Mac, I think you have to touch the little arrow down here and you're going to select update table, and I only want to update my page numbers because that's the only thing that would have changed. So just in case our like page numbers got weird, we'll update it. That's always a good thing to do right before you turn in something. It's always easy to make random little edits and forget to update your table of contents, and then if your table of contents doesn't go to the right spot, it's kind of pointless. So I think we did everything there. We inserted our table of contents, we changed the formatting, awesome. Now we are going to add a heading. So this is different than a header, this is a head, or opposite. We're going to add a header, not a heading. So I'm going to come up to this first page of text here, and I'm going to double click just in that top margin. It'll open up my header. In here I'm going to add my last name and just Quiz 3 Microsoft Word as kind of like the document title. And it automatically opened up this tab here, the header and footer tab. That will go away when I close out of this header editing option. But when I'm in here, I want to select different first page, and I'll show you why. So typically we don't have the same header on our cover page as the rest of the document. You'll often see something like this on the first page, like adding running head to show what the running head is going to be. For this assignment, we're just going to click different first page, and it's going to just take away that text, and that is perfect. We're also going to add a footer. So in this, we're going to add a page number. In this header and footer tab, come on over to page number. It's a little drop down, and just add page number. This dialog box is going to open up. You have a bunch of different options about where your page numbers can be, but top of the page is already selected. I want the alignment to be to the right, so I'm just going to push OK, and it's going to add in our page numbers. So it did what I didn't want it to do, is it just added a page number to this cover page because we selected different first page too quickly. So I'm going to undo, and undo again, perhaps. Come here, remove my page, my header, and then I'm going to re-enter it in. So first page is different, it's going to look like that. Come back down here, put run, Quiz 3, Microsoft Word. Let's try again, page number. Awesome. So now there's nothing on our cover page, but every other page in this document has your last name, the title of the document, and then a page number that is right aligned. So just click anywhere on the document, double click anywhere on the document to get out of that header editing space, and it kind of like watermarks that header, so it's a little bit lighter than the rest of the text. From there, what else are we doing? We added our header, and now all we have to do is delete these comments and save this document. So we're going to go up to the review tab, and there's a bunch of different things here, so this is how you could add a new comment, track your changes, etc. But what we're going to do is we're going to go over to delete and just select delete all comments in this document. That gets rid of all of those comments, so now it's just your work. The very last thing that you need to do is save your document. So you're going to come up to File. This is going to look slightly different on a Mac and PC, but we've done this in class. You are going to do Save As, and then you're just going to add your last name. So I'll put Roan, Quiz 3, Microsoft Word. I'm going to save it to my desktop, and then that is all you have to do. After this, just submit this as the answer to Quiz 3. And I think there is a couple more questions just about what you learned from our in-class work and the review videos, plus this exercise. We're not going to say goodbye to Word quite yet. We have a few more Word adjacent things to do next week, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions about this assignment or Word in general, as always, please feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, I'll see you all in class. Have a good one.